Hey guys, Nathan here. Today I just wanted to go over quite a common question at the moment, which is how to become an entrepreneur, how to start an online business, how to earn money online. They tend to be like the three like major questions. So basically, people who are looking to get started, moving out of like a 9 to 5 job and find out how to start their own business. And this information it's not really taught anywhere. It's not taught in school or anything like that. You sort of have to go out and find it yourself, which I guess is what you're doing now. So you're already taking the first step by watching this video. I'll just go into a little like introduction. So before working to become an entrepreneur has to have quite varied skill sets. You have to have skills in quite a lot of different areas. The skills that I would strongly suggest learning are marketing and sales, which are two separate skills. They're two different paths, but they just collaborate quite closely together. And by learning marketing and sales, it means any idea that you have, you are going to be able to promote that and bring customers to it, which is generally the biggest problem in any business. You can have a bad product, but if you have good marketing behind it, you can still build a successful business. However, if you have a great product and no one's heard of you, you're never going to make any money. So marketing and sales, I think, are the two most important skills. There are a lot of other ones as well, a lot of sort of sub skills. As an entrepreneur, you're definitely a jack of all trades, but I would get some experience in those two areas before you decide to make the leap over. And so the way I did it, and the way I would actually recommend to other people, is I first had a job in recruitment in sales. And so I'm sure most people know what recruitment is, but it's quite a varied job where you're working in managing people, you're working in sales by selling job opportunities to people. You would also work in B2B by bringing on customers, potential clients, businesses that were looking to hire people. You would have to do cold calling and sales and automatic outreach across LinkedIn and email to those target clients. And then you would have to manage the whole process. So you would have to get used to dealing with people. I used to be very, very shy. And I was sort of forced into a position of cold calling, talking to people on the phone, making sales and building relationships. And they're all very, very useful skills as an entrepreneur. I also had a really good boss, very good boss, in fact, who had been in like the industry for like 25, 30 years. And as much as I didn't realize it at the time, he was a great person to learn off of. And I gained a lot of understanding of business through him. And as much as he didn't do any marketing, he was a fantastic salesman. So marketing, I sort of taught myself. But the lesson there is, if you haven't got these skills yet, get a job. Do not be don't I don't mean like a 9 to 5 job stacking shelves in a supermarket or whatever. You get a job in a company where you're actually going to learn stuff, and that often means taking a reduction in salary. I was paid a very, very low salary. I was also paid on commission, so if I worked hard and did well, I would make good money, but the salary was very, very low. But I was happy to take that cut to get the I knew that I would gain skills I didn't have. They were taking a chance on me. I knew absolutely nothing at the time. I joined the company at about 17 or 18. Um, so don't be afraid to take a reduction in salary if it's going to put you in a job where you're going to learn skills that are useful to you in your journey as like an entrepreneur. And you only need to stay there for like 1 year, 2 years, and you can also work on side hustles at the same time. So the first thing to do is work in a business, and rather than you making the mistakes yourself, you can work in a business around people, hopefully around entrepreneurs and people who you can actually learn from and absorb as much as you can from them. You literally need to be like a sponge of information, absorb everything people throw at you, as long as they're like successful, not from everyone. If someone is where you want to be, you should spend time around them and absorb as much from them as possible. That is my recommendation. So that is what I did for 2 or 3 years. I also researched marketing on my own, and I was a massive reader of Black Hat World. I was literally, again, on absorbing information. I was reading absolutely everything, and I taught myself marketing just over the span of a couple of years from just reading everything online. And whilst you have a job, you start side hustles. you're going to have to work hard. That's the other thing as an entrepreneur. It is not a often what is portrayed online, particularly not at the start. It is long hours, and like you have to be very committed, very dedicated. I was doing minimum 18 to 20 hour days. That's not an over exaggeration. Like some times I would take 4 hours sleep, and the way that I would do that is I built a camper van and I would park it in the car park outside the office where I was working. I would work during the day 8 hours on my normal job, and the rest of the day I would be working on my side hustles, which were social media marketing businesses at the time. I would go to the gym for a shower, and then I would come back and sleep in the camper van. I would wake up, I'd be back in the office at like 6:30, and I'd be the first one in there because it's exciting. Like I would wake up in the morning and my phone would be pinging off with new orders coming in, new online sales, and I would be excited to get in the office. And so as much as it's long hours, it doesn't really feel like work, particularly when you're working for yourself. In fact, still to this day, it doesn't feel like work at all. I still really enjoy it. So make sure that you are working on side hustles, and you don't have to be looking for things that are going to make you a millionaire. At the start of it, it should really be about what is going to give you the most experience and what is going to be most beneficial for you. So also, you're probably not going to have much money to be able to like invest in things. Perhaps you do, but even if you do, I wouldn't recommend using it, because if you're just starting out your journey, you're not going to know how to deploy your capital very, very well. I would try to teach yourself everything, learn everything. Marketing, at the time, I didn't even have any money to build my first website. Even though Wix and Shopify was around, Shopify was $30 per month, and I thought there's no way I can afford a $30 per month subscription. So I taught myself HTML and CSS, which are like basic programming languages for building websites. It's what every single website is built on top of, regardless if you're looking at Shopify, Wix, whatever Webflow, whatever website builder you're using. They all use HTML and CSS to actually display your website. So I taught myself HTML and CSS purely just through learning for free online. And to be honest, there's not really like any excuses. There has never been such a vast amount of information and such high quality information available online for free. You have YouTube, which is literally a search engine of information. Whether you choose to look at funny compilations on YouTube of like whatever, some fail compilations, or you choose to spend that time learning from very, very smart people, YouTube is a tool that is at your disposal, and it's up to you how you use it. You can get a complete education just from like YouTube content, YouTube videos. Not just, of course, there's tons of like creators out there. There's so much that you can learn. So it's sort of down to you to do that. So what I would do is, whilst I was working, if ever I was working on a repetitive task where it didn't need like my full attention, I would always have like YouTube or videos like playing in the background. I would be learning about something, and that's like another great thing. So start these side hustles and go into challenges. Don't be afraid to get outside your comfort zone. Just because you don't know how to do something, figure out how to do it. It sounds like the most basic skill ever, but most people don't have it. And like, I've managed companies of all different sizes. Most people do not understand the most basic skill of how to Google something. If you don't know how to do it, I can guarantee any problem that you have, there is someone out there who has had this like type of issue before, something similar. You can Google it, and there will be someone giving a guide, someone explaining it, someone saying how they overcame whatever issue, particularly in entrepreneurship. Everyone has been through like the starting off journey of where you're going to be at. Oh, how do I make a website? How do I add this product on here? How do I edit this? Google it. Learn how to Google it. Every single piece of information is available there. Like, this is a really interesting thing about programming, is that programmers don't remember everything. They use a website called Stack Overflow, which is basically a website of documented problems that people have had. So any problem that you are going through, you can Google it, and like Stack Overflow or some other programming website will show up where someone has previously had the exact same issue as you a few years ago, and it will have been answered many times, usually by someone calling them an idiot for such a silly problem.